Hi, everybody. I'm Dave,
And I'm John.
and this is Coffee and Capes, our podcast about two of our most veriest, favoriteest, awesomest things: drinking coffee and talking about geek culture.
Yeah, it's like the best way to start the morning.
It really, truly is. We hope you feel the same. We assume
Yeah.
you're kind of checking us out because, at least on some level, you tend to agree with us. See, we think of ourselves as enthusiasts. That we enjoy coffee, we enjoy geek culture, especially comic books and movies about comic books, and comic books about movies about comic books, movies about comic books about movies about comic books about movies.
Yeah, all those things.
All the things. And we enjoy other stuff too, but we're enthusiasts. We like them. We want them to succeed. We want them to be good, and so we talk about them. That's what this podcast is about. Thanks for finding us.
Yep. And if you found us, you probably found us. If you're watching us, of course, we always talk about it. You probably found us on YouTube. So hello. However, if you're listening to us, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all your favorite podcast listening places. You can find us on the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, the insert social media platform here. And it's coffee.
I don't have that last one.
I know it's new? I'm making it. It'll be here.
Okay.
And if you're looking for us on Instagram, it's coffee_N_capes. On Facebook, it's coffee, the letter N, and then capes. Twitter is the same as Instagram. So stop in, say hi. Thanks for giving us a follow when you do. We love when people pop in and interact with us in regards to things we've talked about, the different stuff that we have reviewed, some of the posts that we have up. And then if you want, you can actually reach us via email at supers, SUPERS, at coffeencapes.com.
Yes, we do read our email. We are old like that. We live on email.
We really do. It's great that like people interact with us, but we like emails. It makes us feel special and important. And if you want to throw us an email, we're cool with that.
Please send us an email.
Yeah, nobody emails us anymore.
We do appreciate all the other ways you connect with us.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys are great. Hey, I'm sorry, is that all the propers? I think that's all.
That's all the propers. That's all the propers.
We have some super exciting news today about the coffee that we are enjoying.
We do. We are enjoying our coffee. It has finally arrived. As a matter of fact, this episode is brought to you by Coffee and Capes One Punch Roast. It's a medium roast. You can see the bag. This is what the bag looks like. Came out pretty cool, a little comic booky. But One Punch Roast is a medium roast, single origin, and it's naturally double caffeinated. For all of you that really need that extra punch of caffeine, this is it. So you don't have to drink more than one cup. You can if you enjoy vibrating in your own seat for extended.
Will it make me vibrate enough to go through a wall?
Maybe. I think it'll give you enough caffeine that you can defeat anything in one punch.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, that is fabulous. So
you can find this a single roast from Vietnam, actually, I believe.
This one?
I believe so.
No, this one is not the one of the Vietnamese roasts.
Okay.
This is it's just a double caffeinated. We do have roast. I don't think roasts
we have a couple of other roasts from Thailand.
Maybe that's from Thailand that are super small farm. Yep. We seek out fair trade and organic coffees. Everything is freshly roasted. You can actually see on the bottom, we do a little sticker so you know it was roasted on the day that you ordered it or the day after, depending on when the roaster is able to get to it. So you're always going to get a fresh, tasty cup of coffee. And you can find this at our website, coffee, the letter N, capes.com. We have a landing page up right now. However, super exciting that our full website with all kinds of stuff, including a quiz to find out which coffee you should be drinking, some blogs about, charitable giving, some opportunities to submit any charity that you would like to submit. to see if there's an opportunity for us to be able to donate to that as well. And yeah, and then articles about, what is single origin versus a blended coffee, all written by our lovely Dave. Dave,
Hi.
turn a letter, Dave. So that,
you have chosen wisely.
Yeah. Hey, look, there you go. So yeah, again, one punch roast.
So great. Friends, we are so super excited about this. Like, we think the bags look amazing and fun. Yeah. We're trying to have fun with this because, geek culture stuff's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. And anything that stems from it. I mean, we take it very seriously. Obviously, we take geek culture very seriously. We've been talking about it for a long time, long before this podcast ever happened. I think both of us have been collecting comics since we were very much smaller human beings. But it should be fun. There should be some levity and fun to it. And you can take something seriously and still have fun. So we're having fun with it. And remember, guys, with every bag that you buy, we do donate a portion of that sale to Feeding America. With 38 million Americans suffering from food insecurity in the United States, this is part of our mission. Like, this is how we give everybody that works with us and buys coffee from us the ability to be somebody's hero. And while our coffee may not give you superpowers, we're not giving up.
We know of.
Yeah. It does make you a hero. So. Thanks,
absolutely. And while we don't take ourselves seriously, we take that our commitment to community and giving back with every single bag that's purchased contributes to Feeding America. And because obviously 38 million of our neighbors suffering from food insecurity is 38 million too many, and that number includes almost 12 million children. So that's
something else.
It's really, really not good. And we obviously our country has the resources to get everybody fed. We just need to do a little work to make that happen. So that's like I said, we don't take ourselves very seriously. We have a lot of fun, but we're very serious about our connection to helping our community, making it better, at least in every little small way that we can. So thanks for partnering with us in that.
Now you're on to one of our favorite segments. I do believe.
And
fiction. And this one actually comes from Barbell Viking 1988. So Alan's been following us for a while. He interacts with us a lot. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate Alan.
Yeah, man, you're great. But we posted something last night because Halo, the series, kicked off. And I was super excited about it. Did you watch it yesterday, Dave?
No, okay. I did not. That is not really my thing.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. I watched it. I was very excited to watch it. Alan watched it as well. And, his statement about it that he put up was so many mixed feelings and a few complaints, but overall good. Curious where they take it. Thanks for the quick feedback after watching the first episode. I got to admit, I echo that. We'll have to see where it goes. There were some things that I was a little excited about and some things that I was like, so we'll see. I do like the actor that they have playing Master Chief. Pablo Schreiber. He's great. He was in a show called American Gods. He was in the movie 13 Hours of Benghazi. He's been in a number of things. He's actually somebody I really enjoy watching on screen. So it's nice to see him in that role, but it's definitely going to fall into the realm of kind of like Boba Fett, like a little underwhelming, but with potential, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, Alan, thanks a lot, man, for popping in so fast last night after watching the episode. And if anybody else has any thoughts about it, you can find that post on Instagram and drop a line in there. And we'd love to hear what you thought if you've watched it. So
appreciate you, Alan. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Well, what sort of fun are we going to have today, John?
Well, Dave, you came up with this one, and I absolutely love this idea. And this is the Dave.
So just to give full credit here, a while back, my son offered this. Our 16-year-old offered this as an idea for us. So thank you, Josh, for
Thanks,
giving
Josh.
us a really good idea. Today, we're going to play the game of Would You Rather?
Yeah. But not like the drinking game that you played in like college or something like that ended in like your best friend's head in the toilet, or, you know, sprawled out on the lawn of somebody's apartment building you should never be near. No.
Yeah, I've mostly only played Would You Rather with the youth group at my church, so it has not been a toilet.
We've had very different experiences.
Yes, we had a very different experience. It has not been a toilet inducing experience for me. So that is not what I associate Would You Rather with.
Yeah. So Would You Rather, right, guys? If you're unfamiliar with how this works, is we're going to throw out a topic and a couple
super
things.
complex.
Super complex, and then we're just going to say, would you rather A or B?
Yeah.
And I think, like, taking a look at our backgrounds, Dave,
we're going to start a little unconventional, a little outside the super mainstream. And well, John, I think you have the question for this one.
Yeah. So, Dave, would you rather have to have your super team try and take down Omni-Man from Invincible or the Plutonian from Irredeemable? Both like phenomenal comics. We both love Invincible a ton. I've read a ton of Irredeemable. Dave hasn't, but is familiar with the character only through my rantings and ravings. But Dave, make your case.
Sure. I guess just based on my own experience, I'm gonna have to pick Omni-Man, because at least I know that he has been defeated. You know, it's probably gonna require another Viltrumite or 45. But at least I know it's possible to defeat him, or if not to defeat him, then at some point to appeal to his
there you go,
humanity and compassion, depending on which time in Omni-Man's life you encounter him. There's at least the possibility of getting him to stand down a little. I think we saw that, you know, in Invincible early on, when, you know, Mark found out his dad was actually a bad guy, and then, you know, decided he was going to stop his dad and eventually convinced Omni-Man to like head out. But both of these guys have just like off the charts levels of strength. And as I understand it, both have could just take out entire countries or perhaps even planets. I know at some point Omni-Man basically destroys planets.
Right. That's kind of his gig. You know, the Plutonian is it was written by Mark Waid. Mark Waid's phenomenal. But the thing with the Plutonian is I feel like he doesn't have that moral stopping point any longer.
Okay.
You know, where Omni-Man, we see it at a couple different points, right? There's something that kind of a switch, I guess, that kind of flipped for him a little bit when you catch up with Omni-Man and he is found living on a planet. Mark finds him.
Right.
And he's got a family.
Yep. Another family.
Right. Another family. And he's changed and evolved a little bit. Right.
Right. And as the series goes on, he changes and evolves even more and like comes to try to represent a whole new way of being Viltrumite.
Right. Yeah. And the Plutonian, if you read this series, Irredeemable, that doesn't happen.
He kind of evolves the other way, right? Or devolves the other way.
Yeah. He starts out as, kind of like so many of them do, is the world's greatest hero in charge of like an entire team. And then he snaps, right? And when he snaps, he snaps hard and is responsible for killing millions and millions of people, wiping out entire countries. Everybody's terrified. He goes around killing every hero on the planet. Like all the heroes are scared because they know he's coming after them. So it's a whole thing. So I would have to say that, if I'm in charge of a team that has to take down one of these two guys, I'm with you. Like I'm trying to go, I'd rather face off against Omni-Man than the Plutonian, because the Plutonian just has, well, no irredeemable qualities left. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I worked it in.
Yeah. There's no redeemable qualities left. He has become
irredeemable. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. But I still
knew what you meant. We knew what you meant.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, on this one, I think we're ding.
Yeah.
Like a little ding sound. So Dave,
fair enough. All
right. What do we got next?
How about this? Let's go. So we went pretty unconventional there. Here, let's go super conventional now.
Okay.
Let's hear it. All right. Would you rather, John? You can only pick one. Okay. Would you rather have the Batcave or the Batmobile?
Yes. Yes. I didn't know you could have one without the other.
In this game, you must choose.
Okay. Well, this one seems pretty, honestly, I'm going to say this one seems pretty easy for me because I know all the other things that exist inside the Batcave.
Okay.
Like you may not get the Batmobile, but there's the Bat Cycle. There's the Batwing.
No, you don't get all the other vehicles. No.
You didn't say that. You didn't make
I'm saying it now. It's my game. I'm changing the rules when I want. You don't get all the other vehicles in the Batcave.
All right. Those of you that think Dave just arbitrarily changed the rules, please put your comment.
You can appeal your decision to Commissioner Goodell and
we know that guy's not doing anything.
Right. Or Manfred, one of the worst human beings. Well, not one of the worst human beings, but perhaps I'm not going to go down that road. Never mind.
Yeah. Why would you guys?
Why am I doing that? Don't do that to ourselves. Never mind.
All right. So now we've removed all of the vehicles. So now you want to rephrase the question, please?
Okay. Would you rather have the Batcave with things like the computer and the dinosaur and the giant penny or nickel or whatever? And, I guess you get the costumes that way, but not the other vehicles, or the Batmobile.
I think I'm still going with the cave, man.
Okay.
I think I'm still going with the cave. Like there's a lot going on in that cave. It also happens to be attached to Wayne Manor. I have to believe there's like the world's best fireman pole in there somewhere to get from A to B. So that's got to be a lot of fun. Plus, you get all the cool things. Like there was the giant dinosaur and the giant Two-Face coin. And, so there's some cool stuff in there. And you get, to your point, you get the Bat computer, which clearly sees everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So
I agree with all of that. I still am going to take the Batmobile.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. What's your reasoning behind that?
Because it's just freaking cool, man. Because you'd be riding around in the Batmobile. And I don't even care which version it is. Give me the super giant crazy tank from the end of Dark Knight Returns, or give me the super cheesy convertible from the 60s Adam West. I don't care. It's the freaking Batmobile. You get some toys in there. I'm sure you get some defensive weapons, you get some offensive weapons. It's fast. It looks cool no matter which version.
Yeah.
Also, I'll say this. I'm getting your internet is unstable. So hopefully
you're glitching out a little, buddy. I can still hear you, but
also I'll say this. Way back when, in one of the before Joanna and I got married, when we were doing those games that sometimes happen at showers or whatever, I had to fill out the form for one of Joanne's showers. And one of the questions was, what's your dream car? Guess what my answer was?
Batmobile.
Uh-huh.
Well, clearly, I mean, you are choosing a car over the entire Batcave.
Yeah, well, the car has the computer too. Like it's got the mobile version of the computer in it.
It's not the same. It can't be the same. Look at how big the Bat computer is in the cave. There's no way all that fits into the car. Maybe in like the Bat RV, but not in the Batmobile. Right. All right. So on this one, we disagree.
All right.
And that's okay. Like that's the point, right? Is to not always kind of be on the same team with everything. So this one, my question is kind of an evolution of one that, as we were talking about this topic, that I came up with. And so I'm going to throw this out there. If you're in a dark alley, would you rather come across the Legion of Doom or the Black Order and Thanos?
Oh my gosh. And death is not an option?
Oh, I think death is coming. I don't think that's not happening. It's just a matter of how fast or how slow.
Right. Oh my gosh. Wow. So this went dark in a hurry. I guess I might have to pick the Black Order because I think they're more likely to make it quick. I think too many of the Legion of Doom are more likely to want to torture me first.
I feel like so. Okay, so one, we've got to make the assumption. Like I feel that
defeating them is not an option. I guess I should have said.
Do we make the assumption that you're a hero or just a normal Joe off the street?
Oh, I was thinking normal Joe off the street.
Okay, cool. So let's go with normal Joe off the street,
or normal Dave as is.
Normal Dave,
yeah.
I actually think so. It depends on the members.
Don't get to pick depends.
I know, but I'm thinking like,
well, maybe in like 25 years or something, you might need 30 years,
probably like 10 years.
Yeah.
So this one, like where it gets interesting, because Thanos and the Black Order, right? If they are like headed somewhere and you just happen to be in the alley, there's a possibility they'll overlook you.
Oh, that you might be too small for them to care about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be insignificant for them.
Yeah.
Could be. Although we've seen Corvus Blade, the head of the Black Order, like require the heads of like all children on a planet of a certain age.
Yeah.
That was dark, man. That's still one of my favorite like runs in the comics because its storytelling was so good. But there's a chance. There is a chance that they could think you're too small for them.
Yeah.
I don't think that chance exists with the Legion of Doom. I think that because of one person only, right? I think if it's like Sinestro and Lex Luthor and, maybe Black Manta and some of those guys who
are a little more like arrogant and want to be and
more arrogant. Yeah. And they're like, who are you, dude?
Yeah,
like, I'm just going to walk right by you. Like, you're nobody. Right. But the Joker is part of the Legion of Doom.
That's a problem.
Like the Joker is gonna torture you for funsies, and to be like, "Come on, Joker, leave him alone." Like they're not gonna do that. They're gonna be like, "Whatever, man, do your thing." So I think if I got to face down one group or the other, I'm gonna face down, or if I've got to run into one in a dark alley, I think I'd rather run into the Thanos and the Dark Order because at least there's a shot. At least there's a shot that they may think that I am not important enough to look at. Like I could cower behind a dumpster.
Yeah.
And they would ignore me.
Yep. Friends, this is no fun. I'm having internet issues. I'm going to try switching something up because John's frozen on me and, this is behind the curtain. You don't want to know and nobody cares, but I'm going to switch it up and see what happens.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but you're frozen and I keep getting my internet is unstable notification.
Oh.
So let me try switching networks and see what happens. So hopefully I don't lose the whole thing, because that would really be annoying and awful.
In the meantime,
Let's see what happens. Okay, well, it switched and we didn't die. We didn't lose the feed. We'll see. John's still frozen for me, but I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I guess we'll plow ahead.
Moving forward.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
switch
you're
it up.
not frozen on my screen.
Okay. Well, clearly the problem is mine.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up.
All right. What do you got?
How about this? Would you rather? Now, the obvious one would be, would you rather be Captain Kirk or Captain Picard? But I'm not even going to go that route. How about this? Would you rather be an ensign for Captain Kirk or for Captain Picard?
Picard. I want to be an ensign for Kirk. I mean, like, if you're an ensign for Kirk, the likelihood that you survive anything is like drastically reduced because, one, Kirk always takes a sacrificial ensign on the trip, on the away missions.
Right.
Picard at least chooses the people he genuinely thinks have a solid chance of getting back. I always felt like Kirk was like, we're going to take Spock, we're going to take McCoy, we're going to take Uhura, and then we need somebody to throw in front of lasers.
Right.
Ensign Jones,
you're it. Let's go.
You're coming with, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
No, not me.
And Picard is a little bit more strategic, right? Like he's
right. Kirk is more like, let's just go and punch him.
Yeah. Kirk is like, shields up, fire torpedoes. Right. You're like, dude, there's 50 Klingon vessels. What are you doing? We could warp out of here in a heartbeat. Nah, we're going after it. And meanwhile, Picard's like, we got to figure out the best way to do it. It's much more diplomatic. That's like a no-brainer for me. If the question had been, hey, who do you want to like hang out with on like the lower decks? Picard.
Oh my gosh, that's Kirk 100%.
Yeah, like Kirk 100%. I want to see what he's doing. Like
right.
that guy's got to be hilarious, right? You're like, hey, Captain, you have to leave that ensign home.
Well, that could get a little.
What about you, Dave?
A little bad. Man, I can't argue with you. Like you make all the good points about why you want to be in the ensign for Picard, because I suppose there's the chance that you just don't get picked for a mission, but at some point you probably
gotta feel like your number's coming up,
right?
The cards are not stacked in your favor.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? And it's not like I feel like he just wander through like this. If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it doesn't matter. He's like, oh, we need one more person on this away mission. Billy, you're coming with. God damn it. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, not Billy. We like Billy. Right. He owes me $20 from the Sabbath game. Yeah, like, and don't get me wrong. Like when we talk about Star Trek captains, man, Captain Kirk is awesome.
He is. I still want Cisco. Cisco's still my favorite of all, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other conversation. Like I love like Jean-Luc. I've been watching the Picard series.
I have not watched that. I need to get
it's really good
at some point.
It is good. But Kirk, man, he just always had that swagger. Like,
yes.
100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so when I was young and you see this guy like dun, 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 and he's like fighting everybody and he always won, you're like, man, that guy is so cool. Right? William Shatner. So but yeah, if I gotta be, if one of them's in charge of me, let's go Picard, man.
Yeah,
all the way. Yeah, he's less likely to get us murdered.
Seems like an important point.
Right? It's a critical moment in your decision process. Everybody's like, do you want to be on the Enterprise? Because we'll assign you to the Enterprise. Who's in charge of the Enterprise? Kirk. No, I'm gonna go that way. But over there, you're just a janitor. Here you can be an ensign. I'd like to be the janitor.
Yeah. Fun. All right, John, you got another one?
I do. All right,
Okay.
so let's go in the direction of, and this kind of touches back to a character that's already kind of come up. But would you rather have your like Legion of Heroes, Avengers, whatever team led by Batman or Captain America?
Oh, that's a good one. All right. I'm gonna pick Captain America.
Okay, explain.
Because I think they're both portrayed as master strategists.
Mm-hmm.
But on some level, I think there's a little bit of Kirk Picard there that I think Cap is more likely to look out for me as team member.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas Batman's probably going to view everybody else as a pawn at some point and willing to sacrifice any of them to.
Yeah, unless you're Robin.
Well,
right. Unless you're a Robin, I think that's fair. Like Robin is like any of the Robins, any of those guys are very like, or Barbara Gordon.
Sure. Anybody who's not part of the Bat family is expendable.
Right. Anybody not part of the Bat family, he feels like you should be able to stand on your own.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can't, no, that's just part of the game. And we have a bigger picture at play. Cap is much less likely to sacrifice you for the greater good. Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought of that one.
Also, I think Cap's going to give you the, like, you might get a little bored with all the speechifying that Cap's going to do, but he's going to inspire you.
Yeah.
Whereas which is pretty great. Like, I've been inspired. Being inspired is a good thing. It's fun. It's great. I don't think Batman's really going to inspire you other than like, do this or I kick your ass.
Yeah, he's just a little too dark and brooding to go down that road. Like Cap embodies, and that was my thing too. I go with Cap on this one as well, right? And as much as I love Batman, and I do and have for years and years and years and years, Cap's the guy that's gonna like take everybody's readiness level and bring it up, because he's just gonna instill them all with hope. And when you see Cap hold the shield up on top of a pile of rubble and you thought he was down, that's that moment that everybody rallies behind.
Right.
Batman crawling out of like the rubble, like, yeah, you're like, oh, look, it's Batman, but he's just going to turn a hard left and go in whatever direction he needs to go in, and you're going to feel slightly abandoned.
Correct. Yes, I think that's a great point. I think at any moment Batman might decide the best strategy is for him to go do something else,
or to go take somebody else down and just leave you there. He's done it.
Exactly.
Like,
no explanation.
Him do it.
Right. He might not be wrong that it's the best thing to do, but he's not going to, as a teammate, he's not going to explain himself. He's not going to like try to make sure you understand what the plan is. He doesn't have time to tell you what the plan is.
No, he does not. And so, yeah, I got to say, like for me, it's Captain America too. So we're 2 for 4 where we agree.
That's sort of boring, but that's okay. It's all right. We just,
what do you got? What's your next one?
How about this, John? Would you rather live on Tatooine or on Hoth?
That's an easy one for me, because I don't like the cold.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go Tatooine. I'd probably end up being a moisture farmer.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm Hoth, just too cold. This is just too cold for me. And in all fairness, Tatooine never got attacked in mass force by the Empire. Like, you never saw walkers coming across Tatooine and going, oh, my house.
Well, true. Although apparently you have to deal with biker gangs and runaway
Sarlacc pits
and runaway rancors.
Yeah, it's still warmer.
Right.
I'm good.
Okay. I think I'm going Hoth on this one.
Okay. Why?
Because I don't want to be a moisture farmer, and there's water everywhere. There's water everywhere on Hoth. As long as I have a source of heat, I can have water.
Yeah, but think about Tauntauns. Man, if you thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Well, I just hope to not have to live inside one.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
And and
all
I
right.
think the snow monster guy thing is too much of a recluse to be a random threat.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't know. I don't know either. I just think well, it's more of a sort of fortress of solitude kind of thing. I'm not sure there's a civilization on Hoth. I mean, the one thing that Tatooine has going for it is that there's a thriving actual civilization there.
Right.
Whereas Hoth might be more of a, like going for I'm going to go and find myself kind of thing, or I just need some time alone. I need to like be away from people and kind of figure things out for a little bit and whatever. It might not be the long-term solution, but I'm at least going to give Hoth a try. As my Swedish friend says, there's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing.
Nah, I think your friend doesn't. I think your friend likes the cold then, and it just therefore is a weirdo. The weirdo. All right, that's a good one. So this one, we've dipped into this pool a couple of times, but I'm gonna keep going back to it because it's one of my favorite, like, would you rather kind of conversations. And this goes, there's 3 items here. Would you rather, as your ship that you are the commander of in space, either A, the Galactica, B, the Enterprise, or C, a Star Destroyer? But not Vader's Star Destroyer. That one's too big and goes out of the realm of conversation.
Wow. Okay. So Galactica, Enterprise, or Star Destroyer?
Or Star Destroyer.
Goodness. That is pretty tough.
Right?
I don't know, man. I don't have a gosh. I don't have a good reason. I might just say Galactica because I want to be the one to say Galactica actual.
Fair. So
I just think that's super cool. I don't know why. I by the way, I absolutely loved the reboot series.
Yeah, so good.
From what was that, like early to mid 2000s, maybe mid 2000s.
Edward James Olmos as Adama was like legit.
Katie Sackhoff as
Starbuck.
As Starbuck. Oh
man, my initial reaction to that was like, Starbuck's a girl, and then like 10 seconds in, I was like, doesn't matter.
She was fantastic.
She was really good. That whole cast, by the way, if you go back and look at it, it's some really, really great actors who have gone on to do a lot of other stuff. But
right, yep,
man, did you ever watch a show called Portlandia?
No, I did not.
Portlandia is it's funny. It was a comedy show, but they did a whole thing on Battlestar Galactica, and they were like this couple sitting watching that show, and then they were like, okay, just one more episode and then we'll go to dinner.
Yeah.
And then it shows like hours later and like, right. Oh, it's Sunday. We totally missed dinner. That's okay. Let's just watch one more episode. And then, and it does this and they both lose their jobs. Okay. And they're sitting on the couch and then it ends and they're like, wait a second. It can't end. You need to go find the writers. And they go out and find like the person they think wrote Battlestar Galactica, and they bring in Edward James Olmos as a table read, and it's like a whole thing. It's actually pretty funny. Fred Armisen is one of the people in there, if you know who that is. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I agree. We should do a thing. We should go back and watch those episodes and talk about Battlestar Galactica for an entire.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? I'm sorry, Dave, why are you still watching that show? It's research. It's for the podcast. I have to
research. John, you haven't slept in 2 days. Research. And we have all this coffee. I'm now on the One Punch roast.
Right. You've had 7 cups of One Punch roast. What are you doing?
7 pots. You are way off the mark. All right. So
yeah.
the Galactica.
I'm not
man,
even sure the ship is all that cool or all that good, but I just want to be part of Galactica.
So it's hard. So this is a weird one, right? Because if you look at each of the ships, this is where my inner nerd is really going to show up. So I can't remember if the Galactica is just like so damaged, like they don't have light speed capability or warp capability or whatever they called it. I thought they did, like they fold space or something to get to where they're going to go.
I truly don't remember.
I don't remember.
I'm embarrassed that I don't remember that.
I'm embarrassed I don't remember either. But what the Galactica does have, right, are all the fighters, right? Which I thought those fighters were the best.
So cool.
And moved the most accurate in space. Like they just pop right up because they had those jets everywhere. They did such a good job, man. So good. All right. Then we got a Star Destroyer, right? Star Destroyer we know has light speed capability. We also know that it has TIE fighters out the wazoo.
Right.
And the Enterprise, while it has warp capability, and I still don't know if warp is better than hyperspace, like never really kind of like discussed that through.
Yeah.
But they have, you know, photon torpedoes, they've got phasers, everything else, but they don't have squadrons of fighters.
Right.
Not that I've ever seen, right? So
yeah, maybe some little escape pod kind of things, but not right. It's not set up to carry other ships.
Yeah, so I think that one gets out of the conversation.
The third of the three.
Yeah, a third of the three, that it doesn't have that capability.
I mean, it'd be the most agile.
Yes, it would hands down be the most agile, right? But does that agility counteract like squadrons of fighters coming after it while it's like pivoting and flying around?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, especially if you got buzz droids. So and then it comes down to the Galactica or a Star Destroyer, and I'm, you know what, and just I gotta go with the Galactica because it's got the best starfighters.
It does.
And
it really
you got
does.
Starbuck and Apollo and Adama, and you could get some rando like admiral in charge of a Star Destroyer who ends up getting choked out by Vader anyway.
Yeah, or one who falls for a simple like phone prank from the 90s. Like, come on.
What about, hold on, if we're talking about all-time great moments though, how about the floating away like the garbage to get away? Remember when
oh yeah, absolutely,
the Millennium Falcon like just bing, attaches itself, and then when all the garbage gets discharged, and clearly the Empire is way more evil than we give them credit for because they eject all their garbage into space.
Right. Yeah, on top of all the genocide, there's also all the littering.
And telling you, space is gonna. So anyway, I gotta go with Galactica too.
Yes,
it's just, and they use nukes in Galactica, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Like,
it's
anyway,
not good.
All right, hyper nerd for a second.
Right, that was pretty great. I like that one. And we definitely got to do a Galactica.
Yeah, right. I feel like we're gonna end up like this.
I've not thought about it in a little while. I all of you listening, you really want to know all this. I know this is like super amazing content, but I have the whole series.
Do you really?
We will have to maybe we'll have to get together and watch it.
Yeah, totally.
We should totally annoy all of our families.
Yes. I'm sure like they would just go to the other person's house.
Right. Yeah.
Have you been in our house lately? It's just Dave and John. Like, they smell bad. There's empty pizza boxes everywhere. I don't think they've slept.
I'm like, why should today be different?
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
All right, I got one more for you that I think is pretty good.
What do you got?
All right. Switching it back up. I guess this is sort of along the lines of one of the other ones, but would you rather, John, be a henchman for AIM or for Joker?
I'm going to go with AIM. 2 reasons. one, your life expectancy isn't great with the Joker,
Yeah.
right? Like Bob Gunn,
Exactly.
right? We all remember
Somebody tell
that
me he had
moment.
one of those things.
Bob Gunn. Bang. You are my number one guy. So your life.
What's better? Wait. What's better, Jack Palance doing it or Jack Nicholson doing Jack Palance?
Oh man, I gotta.
Would you rather?
Jack Palance, Jack Palance doing no, it's Joker doing Jack Palance. Joker doing Jack Palance. Jack Nicholson doing Jack Palance. So that's better than Jack Palance.
Right. Yes,
that was good. Good, brief little interlude. So, and then with AIM, I think the thing that gets lost about AIM sometimes is it's actually an entire group of scientists.
Right.
They're all smart.
Right. You're
all the Joker
you maybe
guys
have a PhD.
Clearly.
Yeah, you might have a PhD and be working for AIM.
Right. And eventually AIM gets bought by Sunspot.
Yeah.
And gets turned into Avengers idea mechanics. So there's a possibility you could end up as a superhero. But I will say, that's the thing is, life expectancy aside, let's just take that out.
Yeah.
And let's just look at the quality of life as henchmen. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like all the Joker's henchmen are just a little unhinged or a lot unhinged.
Yes.
Right. And they're not they don't have the education. He's clearly got a type that he's going after.
Right.
Whereas with AIM, you have the possibility of creating something amazing because you are a scientist. You're part of what they consider to be a genius pool.
Yes. However,
to
be part of AIM, you also have to wear the super stupid looking giant yellow beekeeper suit thing.
Okay, but now we go back to life expectancy. Would you rather wear the beekeeper outfit
and live,
or wear whatever you
look
want,
super cool,
and probably die
and carry a machete or something?
And let's look at the heroes that you got to face off against. Right. So in that regard, Batman's going to chew through you like nothing to get to Joker. You could end up broken arms, broken legs, all kinds of things. If Cap is going through if he doesn't have to break something in you, he's not going to. Although if the Hulk's involved, all bets are off.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, but I'm still going with AIM. I'd rather be. Yeah.
You're probably it's the right answer. AIM's the right answer there, I think, probably.
but I feel like there's a but.
Yeah, but you might be part of you'd be part of something possibly amazing and cool with AIM. But if chaos is your thing, you'd probably be part of some pretty ingenious on some evil level cool caper being in with the Joker.
True. I mean, yeah, true, but I'm
still going back to life expectancy.
Yeah, life expectancy. That one for me just keeps coming up. It's but again, we go back to Bob Gunn,
right?
That's happening at any given point in time.
Correct. Maybe even without that warning, the simple 2-second warning of Bob Gunn. It might just be, right. Oh, all of a sudden I don't have the back of my head.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, just one of those things. You're like, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Still though, giant yellow beekeeper suit.
I'm taking it. I'm gonna live longer. I'm gonna live longer. Yeah, that's all there is to it. All right, so we're gonna go back to Star Wars once again.
Okay.
Right. Would you rather for your fighting force clone troopers or first order troopers? Not the stormtroopers that showed up in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Right. Yeah, I got you. So clone troopers or first order troopers?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to have to go clone troopers.
Okay.
I think we've seen that they're a little more amenable to orders. So if I'm ordering troops around, I want them to do what I want them to do.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think they seem to have it. Well, obviously, I mean, they're clones, so they have a more consistent ability profile.
Mm.
You can count on them to do what you expect them to do a little more, I think,
Right.
than the first order troopers, who apparently could decide to just desert at any time.
Okay. All right. I'm going to throw a curveball. If you're in charge of the clone troopers, you're a Jedi. If you're in charge of first order troopers, you're like Kylo Ren, right? So you're a Sith.
Okay. There.
Do you have the same pick?
Well,
you see where this is going.
I do.
Right?
See, yes. Order 66 is looming.
Right. Order 66 is looming.
Yeah. I had not factored that part in. What if, because I was thinking one step further ahead, that somehow you're still like the Emperor or somebody who's ultimately controlling the clone troopers, and that the Jedi's ordering around the clone troopers are just sort of an intermediary. They just don't know they are.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I think it changes with which idea of who's in charge, like where you stand in the pecking order, right?
Yes, right.
If it's Emperor,
but there's no denying it would be very, very bad to be a Jedi in charge of clone troopers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You
Ultimately.
Don't want to be. I'd rather be Kylo Ren in charge of the first order troopers than a Jedi in charge of a platoon of clone troopers. Because
once again, we're back to life expectancy.
Right, life expectancy. But I think if you're doing like from an Emperor standpoint, I got to go with clone troopers then too, because, to your point, they always seemed more loyal to not only like whoever's in charge, but to one another. They exhibited more humanity, which I believe at the end of the day for a fighting force is critical to success, is caring enough about the person next to you to be willing to kind of go to the extreme measure to be able to make sure you guys all make it home okay.
Yeah.
And if you're just like all conscripted into service, like that's a different ballgame, right?
Yeah. I think that's a piece of it too, a big piece of it too. I'm glad you said that. That was the word I was thinking of too, is that I guess if I'm in charge of them, you set it up as in charge of them, but if I'm going to be one, I'd rather be, as it were, bred for it rather than conscripted into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like that's a big piece, right? Is if we're looking at it from the ground level, then I don't want to be conscripted into it, because if everybody's conscripted into it, you're going to get a high level of like, I'm leaving, or I'm not risking my life for this, or I'm not, I'm just doing what I'm told until I can figure out something better.
Yeah.
Whereas
the camaraderie of the clone troopers is, as you say, the camaraderie and humanity and caring about one another is
a
key piece of their success.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be part of an organization that treats people well and wants to do well together and look out for each other.
Yeah. Agreed. Dave, you got one more?
Wow. I do. How about this one? Going back to sort of a Marvel DC setup here. Would you rather have Alfred or Jarvis?
Yeah, I'm glad we're ending on this one, because this is where I was hoping we'd go, and it's the tiebreaker because we're tied right now. We've
are we? Okay, I have not been keeping score, so I'm glad you have.
I have. Yeah, we're agreed on the same number, and we've disagreed on the same number.
Isn't that a tautology? Wouldn't we have to? Never mind. Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
for me, this is the first one that goes in the DC direction. I'd rather have Alfred than Jarvis. Alfred to me has like a deeper connection. Like, you know what I mean? He's family. He's family to Bruce. He's family to Dick and Jason and Tim. Barbara.
Yep.
All of those guys. Like, he also seems incredibly skilled.
Yes.
Right. He can fight. He's highly intelligent. And I'm not saying Jarvis isn't. Right. I'm not saying that at all, but I just feel like, I don't know, Alfred's a little bit of a level up.
Totally agree, especially if we're talking about Alfred or the person Jarvis.
Right. That's where
now. What if we add the third element of the AI Jarvis, like we see?
But then you're like apples to watermelons. You know what I mean? Like,
or apples to books or something.
Yeah, or apples to like not even an edible anymore.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point, it's such a different, it's very different scope. You'd have to look at it from terms of like more like what's Brother Eye.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Bruce creates is Brother Eye, which is like the AI that sees everything and whatnot. But
I didn't know Bruce created it, but that's the one that like turns that one guy into something.
Yeah. I think
that was really descriptive. It turns that one guy into something.
Into a thing.
Yeah. I can picture him. I can't think of his name or anything.
Yeah.
Or what's the thing with not Doctor Strange, but Adam Strange, like the thing that comes along and like just randomly zaps him to the other planet thing. I don't know. I don't remember. But here's my argument the other way though, that in some ways Jarvis the AI is more akin to Alfred because Jarvis the person, at least that I remember, was never involved like he was never sitting back helping direct the battle or helping, like he's more of just makes great muffins and cleans things up and is helpful. And I remember a comic or two where an issue or two where he like kind of has to fight somebody off a little bit, but as far as, I mean, everything you said about Alfred is correct, but he's also in some versions sitting there in the Batcave, like helping direct the fight and be a source of information, which to me is more like the AI version of Jarvis.
Yeah, I'm still saying like Alfred, like overall the whole package, right? Alfred, you can't beat Alfred.
And he's a human being. I'm going to pick a human being over a computer program.
And he has been a catalyst for like Bruce and the Bat family rallying.
Yes.
Right. He was, an attempt to make peace between Clark and Bruce during Injustice and trying to like stop that whole thing. Like Alfred has been a key figure in a number of critical kind of situations.
Sure. And he's
the human aspect.
Right. Yes, exactly. And you can't discount he's essentially been the surrogate father for Bruce. Batman and Nightwing, two of that world's greatest heroes.
Yeah, easily.
I mean, he raised two guys that became.
And Damian, like he's doing it with Damian now, and he did it with Tim and Jason, and he still cares about Jason, even though like when Jason went sideways, and it's always always the voice in Bruce's ear of like, telling
compassion,
him, like,
self-care. It's the whole you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on your kid thing. Like you have to breathe before you can help somebody else breathe. Like he's that voice that's reminding them that you have to have in order to be a hero and to sacrifice something of yourself, you have to have yourself there to give.
Yeah, he did such a good job, just taking care of like the Bat family, right? And as an extension, like develops that relationship with Clark and develops a relationship with others, right?
Yes.
You know, and everybody within the DC universe that's a hero that's tied to Batman in some way, shape, or form has this love for
Alfred.
Yeah, for Alfred.
Yeah. On the other hand, at least in the MCU, if you're Jarvis, the AI, you get to become Vision.
True. But
again, I mean, in both cases, there's an end to the story. At some point, there are stories in which both of them die. So
yeah, I that brings up one, and I know that was the last one. So but one of those to think about is like the Brainiac or Ultron.
Ooh.
Right, like those two, that would be a one to explore, but we don't have to do that now. We're good. This, like, Jarvis and Alfred is a great spot to call this, because Alfred just leaves you feeling so better about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. He makes everybody around, there you go, he makes everybody around him better.
Yeah, that's it.
He's that kind of human being. He's the kind of guy you want to be around.
Yes. Yeah.
That you want for your dad.
Oh man. Yeah.
Shout out to good dads everywhere.
Yeah, shout out to good dads everywhere. Well, Dave,
this was fun, John. Thanks for being along in the ride, folks. Apologies for any technical difficulties we had there. Hopefully it didn't ruin your listening or watching experience any more than the content did. Usually we let the content ruin your experience. Yeah. Oh man, it's been a couple episodes since we brought Costner in.
I know. I just had to throw him out there. Kevin Costner is great. Would you rather watch Kevin Costner in Bull Durham or For the Love of the Game?
Oh my God, that's super. Bull Durham. Bull Durham's his best movie. It's Bull Durham over everything.
Bull Durham's amazing. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Come on.
Thank you, Kevin Costner, for making iconic sports movies.
Exactly.
So good. So good. And on that note,
thanks for being with us, everybody. Be sure to check out coffeeandcapes.com, and thanks for following us in all the ways. And I guess until next time, true believers. Bye.
Bye, guys.